Welcome, Connie, Wendy. Good to see you. Byron and Becca. Welcome, welcome. And looks like Bill's coming on. Still connecting to audio. Okay, and I hope I pronounced this somewhat right. Andrea, I'm not sure, but welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. And you can, if you want to help me with my pronunciation of your name, please do. So we will get started in just a moment. We'll give people another minute to join in. Welcome, Carol. Good to see you. Here comes Rebecca. Yeah, so as we gather, welcome, Rebecca. Make sure you have Arjun. Make sure you have a comfortable seat for meditation. And you may want to have something to write notes on, because in these meditations that we're doing from this book, or based in this book, some interesting content tends to come up. So you might want to have something to make notes on. All right. So Stephen should be joining us any moment. And in the meantime, I will do a little intro and then we'll get right into our practice. So welcome everyone to this Raising Our Vibration Meditation Practice Group for Thursday, March 7th, 2024. Thank you to Garth and Russell for manning the controls tonight, for doing the recording. Thank you to the Humanities team, as always, for hosting us on this wonderful platform. And tonight we continue our practice of Awakening the Mind by Anna Wise. We are in chapter 3 now, which is called Accessing and Experiencing the Deep. And so I will begin by reading a little bit from the book, and then we'll get right into our meditation. And like I said, hopefully Stephen will be here to join us and do the second half of the meditation. So let me read a little from Accessing and Experiencing the Deep, Developing Theta Brainwaves. Okay. So Anna says, what truly differentiates an awakened mind from the mind of the ordinary individual, okay, is his or her capacity to be in conscious contact with the deepest and most profound aspects of inner being. Accessed through theta brainwaves, these ordinarily subconscious parts of the mind hold the key to creativity, insight, spiritual awareness, and a variety of expressions of mastery. The content of theta brainwaves only remains subconscious when there is no alpha present simultaneously to provide the link to the conscious mind. When you are producing the classic meditation brainwave pattern of alpha and theta, you can get in touch with the most profound depths, as well as have the vividness and clarity of imagery provided by the alpha to transmit this experience in a tangible way so that the conscious thought process of beta can interpret, understand it, and act upon it. So here we see that all these different brain waves work together to give us access to deep subconscious material. So theta brain waves are our access to the deep subconscious and to the well of creativity that flows up from there, also a well of information and energy for healing. Alpha is known as a bridge from the subconscious to the conscious mind that's accessed through relaxation. That's why we start all our meditations by relaxing deeply. That activates alpha, that forms a bridge down to theta. And then beta brain waves you can think of as your conscious focus. So when you have all three of those working together, then you have the access to the deep subconscious through theta, the bridge to the conscious from the subconscious through alpha, and the recognition and ability to clearly describe that with beta brainwave activity. All right, good. So she goes on, in order to awaken our minds, we must clear access to the subconscious and develop the theta brainwaves in conjunction with the alpha brainwaves so that the flow of information between the conscious and the unconscious mind can be encouraged and developed. The first key is to value and validate any material you access without judgment. The second key is to realize that anything you find in your subconscious can be acknowledged, understood, and transformed if appropriate. You have the ability to go inside and make conscious changes, to heal, to open, to transform, and to evolve your innermost being. So the important thing here is to really be open to whatever arises, especially if it feels like maybe it's something you might want to push away initially, or it's something that just seems off or really weird or out of context. Those are often the points of contact with something that's subconscious that you might not normally be in contact with. So be open. And secondly, so be open, dismiss nothing that arises in your mind. So that's another thing that can happen is something, I'll cue you to call something to mind, something arises, but you might think, oh, that's not it. Okay, so our conscious minds can tend to dismiss subconscious material. So be open and dismiss nothing. Just allow what comes up to arise and allow it to develop. If you allow it to arise, allow it to develop, then you'll see deeper and deeper. And then finally, set an intention that in this meditation, you'll receive something valuable. So you don't have to have an idea about what that is right now, but just have an idea or have the intention that in this meditation, my subconscious is going to reveal to me something that's valuable, something that I can take away and work with and have new insight about myself and about what's happening beneath my conscious mind in the subconscious. All right, good. So I see Stephen has joined us. Awesome. And so I think we're ready to begin with our practice. This practice is called the House of Doors. And I'm going to add the adjective magical house of doors. Okay. So open yourself to a magical connection with your subconscious. All right. So let's begin our practice now by moving into deep relaxation, present moment awareness, and embodiment. So have your feet firmly on the ground. Let's rest our palms cupped in our laps with the tips of our thumbs touching lightly. And that's embodying of an open, receptive posture. So just allow your hands to rest cupped in your lap. And lightly close your eyes. And just take a moment to settle in your seat. And just be aware of whatever is present in your consciousness. So you may have thoughts that are swimming around in there from your day, or maybe some emotions, some sensations in your body. Let's see if you can just allow all of that to be just as it is. You don't need to stop or fix or change any of that right now. Just allow your awareness to settle. Allow your body to settle in your seat. And be here now. And take a moment to tune in to your present environment and feel out into this space where you're sitting as a sacred space, a safe space, a space that embraces you. And call to mind your intention for this practice. Let's set an intention to receive something meaningful, some insight into your inner being, to be open and allow whatever is important for you to know or feel or experience to happen naturally. You don't have to try to make this happen. Simply allow. Whatever is important for you to arise within this meditation. And at the same time, recognize that your practice is not only for you, that the effect of your practice extends to all of us here. This is a group practice, and the group practice really adds to the energy and the depth of what happens. The effect of this practice extends to all our loved ones, to everyone we interact with, and even more widely and invisibly to all beings and throughout our collective consciousness. You are an essential part of a greater whole, a vast consciousness, experiencing itself through you, through each of us, and within our interactions together. So consider dedicating your practice, our practice, to the insight, deeper connection, and well-being of all beings. That we all might tune in to the deeper layers of our subconscious, the deeper layers of our connection with each other, the deeper layers of the one life we all share. Now let's focus down into the soles of our feet, contacting the ground. Awaken sensory awareness in your feet and your toes, and allow your feet to soften and relax, as if they're melting deep down into the earth. Feel the solid, grounded presence of the earth flowing up through your feet, your shins and calves, your knees and thighs, into your hips and pelvic bowl, resting down in your seat. Feel the weight of your body resting down in your pelvic bowl, resting down in your seat, resting down on the earth. Focus into your palms and fingers resting cupped in your lap. Awaken sensory awareness here in your hands. Allow your hands to soften and relax, as if they are melting down into your legs. Feel the soft openness in your hands. As your hands relax even more, allow your arms and shoulders to relax down, releasing any tension in your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Imagine a string attached to the top of your head, drawing your spine gently upright, like a string of luminous pearls. Feel your spine gently stretched from your perineum and tailbone, right up through the core of your body and through the top of your head. Feel the tingling aliveness at the top of your head, open to the sky above. Feel that openness of awareness. Tuck your chin just slightly to gently lengthen the back of your neck. Lightly close your lips and breathe in and out through your nose. Rest your tongue upon the roof of your mouth with the tip of your tongue touching the gum line behind your upper front teeth. Soften and relax your tongue here. Softening your tongue sends a relaxation signal through your vagus nerve from the center of your brain down through your heart and abdomen and out through your whole body. Initiating alpha brain waves of relaxation. And as you feel this relaxation, smile, a subtle smile of calm happiness, of appreciation and gratitude for this time together, to tune in to the deeper layers of being and access profound information, insight, feeling, experience, whatever is needed at this moment. It might be subtle, it might be dramatic. Just allow it to be whatever you need at this moment. Allow this feeling of relaxation to soften your eyes and your forehead. Allow a wave of relaxation to flow down from the top of your head, down through your whole body. Feel the entire space inside and including your skin. Soft, open, and relaxed. In this open, relaxed space, call to mind a peaceful environment, an environment within which you feel safe, deeply at rest, an environment that makes you smile and relax. And feel yourself walking through this environment, noticing what kind of path you're walking on, feeling the surface underneath your feet as you take each step. Noticing the sounds you hear in this environment. Looking around and taking in the natural world. Notice what you see. This environment can have any characteristics, qualities that you desire. Whatever you want in it, let that be in it. And enjoy seeing the environment, hearing the feel of it, the smell of it, maybe even the taste of it. Notice the sky above, open and spacious. Notice if there's trees or grass, if there's hills, any water. And you take it all in and really feel this environment in your body. Ah, feels good to be here. Now, in this environment, up ahead of you, notice a house. This house might be up on a hill or in a valley, in a meadow, wherever you'd like it to be. This house can look any way you want it to look, be any size you want it to be. And now you're walking up to the house. Perhaps there are some stairs that you walk up to the front door. Notice what the front door looks like. Reach out and grab the handle of the front door and open the door. Feel yourself open it and feel yourself walk right inside the house. And the very first room in this house is a very unusual room. It's filled with mirrors all around. And as you walk into this room of mirrors, just notice what's reflected back to you. So you might turn around and just notice what's reflected back to you. So just take in all the images that are reflected back to you. thoughts, notice what they mean to you. Notice how you interpret them, how you feel about them. And do your best not to judge yourself or what appears. Just allow it to inform you in this room of mirrors, reflecting yourself back to you. Now you walk through this room and out a door that leads down a long hallway. And you notice that along this hallway on both sides are doors. As you slowly walk down the hallway, you notice that each door has a different color. And you find yourself drawn to one particular door on the left. And as you walk up to it and turn toward the door, notice the color of the door. Notice that on the door there's a symbol or an image. What is that image? That image has a meaning for you. And recognize the meaning of that image. And now you feel drawn to open this door, and you're about to enter this room. And Stephen will guide us from here.
So as you stand in front of that room, opening that door, when you're ready, open the door and go into the room. And notice what's present in your room. Take all the time you need to go around the room very carefully, very thoroughly, exploring all the room and all its contents. This room might be a very rich treasure room, a treasure trove, or it could be very simple. Might open you into different dimensions, different worlds, or it could be simply the room that you're in now. There is no limit to the infinite possibility that arises in this room. And while you're in this room, you have the power to make any change that you want. You can literally transform this room in any way and everything that's within it. So take the time now to make any changes you want. Transform the room, make it bigger, smaller, vaster. Put any world within it. Put anything within it. Make any change you want to make in this room. You could put beings that don't exist in any other realm, simply within your own mind, or they could be people that you know, or they could be nobody at all. They may be just objects, or it could be extremely Zen-like and simple. Just notice. Make any changes you wish now. And in just a few moments, you're going to leave this room. So allow yourself to take the time now to complete anything that you're doing here, complete any transformation that you've made. Express a sense of deep gratitude and appreciation for all the things that are in the room, all for its simplicity, all for its complexity, all for whatever it's allowed you to access. Become very aware that you are here in this room and complete anything that you need to be done. You can always return here at any time if you want to spend more time here. So now, with a sense of deep gratitude, when you're ready, leave this room behind and go back out into the corridor. Close the door behind you, but don't lock it, so that you can return at any time that you wish. Notice the hallway, notice its shape, notice its length, maybe any decorations in the hallway. Mine has a whole bunch of tankas or sacred paintings. Yours might have anything that you care to put there, and continue your way on down the hallway. Again, passing door after door after door. My hallway is infinite. Looks like it has no end. Yours could have a stop at some point. So continue in whatever direction you wish until you come in front of another door, this time on your right. Notice the color of the door. Reach out. I always notice the texture. I can smell it. I can see it. You might just sense it. It might be more a feeling sense. Mine's got fresh paint. And notice if there's a label or a symbol. If there is, you'll know what it means. So notice, it could be a flat 2D symbol. Mine's a multi-dimensional symbol. Looks more like a portal than a symbol. Could be a simple label, could be a name, you know. Could be something like simple like a flower, or as complex as a Rubik's Cube. Just notice what's there, if there is one. And when you're ready, open the door very slowly. This one's quite heavy. Notice if the door has dimensions or weight or texture or what the handle is like. And then explore what's behind the door. Take as long as you need to very thoroughly explore this space. It could be similar to the other one, could be complex, simple, could be the same sort of texture or color, could have the same objects, could be something entirely different. My one is very oceanic, whereas the other one was more like a temple. So just notice what's there, what arises in your consciousness quite suddenly, that spontaneous arising. Take all the time you need to thoroughly explore. Remember, you have the power to make any changes you want within this place. So I make things bigger, smaller, shift them around, bring more objects in, send them away. Might be very static, could be very simple, could be very Zen-like, or it might contain the entire cosmos. Mine always contains whirling, orbiting planets and black holes and voids. It's a very unique place to be. Yours could be very simple. It might be a familiar one that you know from a home, or it could be something that's created entirely just as it arises. You have the power to make any changes that you want to make within this place. So notice the feelings you get. If you see, notice the sights, the colors, the textures, the shapes. If you hear, notice the sounds in this place. If you feel, notice what it feels like to be here. If you can reach out and touch things and feel them under your fingertips, notice what the feeling is like. If you can smell, smell it. If you can taste it, taste it. Notice what other senses arise. You might have a directional sense in that room. You might feel like you're facing north or south. Maybe there's a gravitational sense. Maybe there's a weight to the room. Maybe you can see through walls. Maybe there's an X-ray sense or a different kind of vision. Maybe the colors or the shapes arise in different ways. You have the power to make any changes you want. So spend a little time in this room. I always play in the rooms. I spend a lot of time just working with the materials there, recrafting, remodeling, opening, shaping, reshaping, creating, dissolving, transmuting. Just notice what you can do. I do funny things in my room, like speed things up, slow things down, rewind, fast forward, pause. Just notice what happens when you experience and experiment with all the possibilities of change. Because you have the power to make any changes you want. Now, when you're ready, begin to allow yourself to come to completion with whatever you're doing. I always express deep gratitude to everything in that room, deep sense of appreciation. I generally go around and touch each of them in turn and speak to them, feel what message they've got. There might be a particular item in your room that really wants to, may be very symbolic to you, may want to bring you a message, may have some direct communication it wants to make to you. All my objects speak. So I'm in deep alignment with all of them. They share telepathically or otherwise, whatever it is they're doing there. So just notice how it arises there. Remember, you can always return here if you wish. And now leave this room behind. Go back out into the corridor. Close the door behind you, but don't lock it, so that you can return here anytime you wish. And this time, retrace your steps back down the hallway the way you came. The hallway might be the same. Mine's transformed completely. Now looks like Harry Potter and Hogwarts. So it might do a completely different sense of transformation. Remember, you're in total charge here. You can transform anything you wish. Go back past the first door that you entered. Go back into the room of mirrors. And pause in the room of mirrors. Notice any changes in your reflection, your image. So I look completely different from when I came in. I'm much more translucent, almost as if I don't exist. So the I in me has dissolved. Notice any changes in your reflection. Notice how it arises to you. Take the time to just work your way around the room of mirrors. Notice if you can move them, transform them. Can you move through them? Each of my mirrors is actually a portal into another world, so yours might do different things. Just notice any changes that are there. And then go back through the entrance hallway, go back out the front door, and go back into your environment. Again, you can make any changes anywhere you wish. So here in the environment, make any changes you want to make within your environment. Is your house the same? Mine was never a house. It was always a temple up the top of the mountain. Notice what changes you might make within your environment. Maybe you change the environment. Maybe it's a different season, a different time, a different world, a different opening. And then find a comfortable place to sit down and to meditate. And just meditate now for a few moments in absolute silence, stillness, spaciousness on what you experienced in your house of doors and what this might mean to you. And then very, very slowly, when you're ready, find a few keys or landmarks to bring back with you when you reawaken, to remind you of where you've been and what you've experienced and what you gained from this experience. These landmarks or keys could be objects, images, symbols. They could also be body sensations you remember, colors, emotions, words, or phrases. Just notice where your awareness points you. What's most significant? Were they more body sensations? Were they more words? Were they more images? Just notice what's present. Anything that will help you remember your experience. Even tastes or smells or sounds or textures or other senses, a feeling that was present in your meditation and in your journey. In your own time, when you're ready, begin to allow yourself some closure for this meditation. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself anchoring back into the body. In your own time, when you're ready, begin to allow yourself to return back to the outside space. Become aware of the outside space around your room or around your house. Be aware of the space inside your room, the energy in your room, the space, the feeling, the texture, the energy in your room. Come into the body, feel your body sensations, just as they are. No judgment, no opinion, just simply being aware. Come into the center of your heart. Notice your heartbeat. Notice the pulse, notice the blood, notice the energy of your heart, notice the feelings. Come right into the center of your heart. Notice that single point right in the center of your heart itself. And then let that dissolve and be aware of the space right at the center of all things, the 0 point of love itself. And in that love that has no boundary, no limit, and there's no words, no concepts to it, allow yourself to reawaken and return in this space, feeling alert, feeling refreshed, and slowly opening your eyes. Take several deep, rapid, connected breaths. So there's no pause in between. It's just in and out through the nose and mouth, or in and out through the nose. And allow yourself to stretch, beginning with all your fingers. Flick your fingers out, flick your toes out, scrunch your feet up. When you're ready, completely open your eyes up wide and re-enter the outside space. And just reflect for a few moments. What happened in those two rooms that you entered? Did you actually make any changes, or did you rest with them just as they were? And what about in the mirrors? Could you see yourself? Did you see yourself in the mirror? And sometimes when we don't remember to do that, then next time you can try looking at your feet first in the mirror. So you look down at your feet, and then you look at yourself. So you get a better feeling of what you might look like. And what about the image of the mirrors in at the time that you entered and then at the time that you left? Was it different? What did you notice? And then was there a room that you didn't like? Or was there something that you couldn't see, or something you couldn't get access to, or something in the room that you wanted to change and you couldn't? What did you learn about yourself in this process? Such a theta meditation is designed to help you access whatever's most available to you right now through your subconscious. So it's very, very simple. You're tapping into your subconscious every time you open the door. So if you go back into there now, so if I go back now, I can see straight at what arose suddenly was a moonscape, right? So it might arise differently every time you access your subconscious. You can do this meditation infinitely. You can do it an infinite number of times and you'll still benefit from it because you'll still access your subconscious in a different way. You have an infinite number of doors to your subconscious available to you. So as you do this meditation, if you do it every time, you might want to always have a journal, as Kevin and I always guide you to do, and a pencil and paper, and really write down. Just take the time, even now while you're listening, take the time just to write down, because you often have a number of experiences, and it's quite useful to remember them, to give information, to help you remember about what you're doing, to help you ground yourself afterwards. Sometimes you have unfinished business in the house that you might want to attend to. Sometimes I used to go to the rooms when I first did this. I'd use the rooms as creative spaces, like a designer lab. And I'd just go in and pull anything out of any universe and shift it, transform it. It was really amazing to find out what arose. Because you can return to that at any time. And you'll find that with repeated use, it becomes very, very transformational. You actually can go back and finish. I used to leave work there in those rooms and come back to it. And I'd find it sitting there just as I'd left it. Or sometimes somebody else, like, for example, if I was connecting to Kuan Yin or some of the great Buddhas, I'd find a Buddha at work on a piece of art that I'd been working on, or some writing. It was really amazing to watch. I'd say, "Oh, hello, what are you doing?" They'd say, I'm just working on your manuscript." "Oh, what have you come up with?" And then I'd talk to them, and they'd have changed it. So it was very useful. Anyway, just some funny, wacky ways my mind works. So, Kevin, thank you always for the incredible opportunity to do this with you. And thank you, everybody in this beautiful community, because whenever we sit together, it's almost like I'm sure I'm accessing some of your transformations as well as my own. So, Kevin, thank you. And with that, I'm going to pass back to you for any questions or insights or inquiries people would like to make, or any reflections that they'd like.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you all for being here, for engaging in the practice. And we'd love to hear from any of you that would like to share, either in the chat or out loud, anything about your practice. So the floor is open. Yes, Wendy.
What a great journey. I first started out because I have, those mental places I go. So it started out like, oh, that's my place on the beach with the waterfall. And, it was like my normal place. But when I went into the room, then it was, of course, different because my house didn't have a room of mirrors, so I had the room of mirrors. And it was astounding because the mirrors were lined up front and back. And so I saw myself as infinite numbers of me. You know how you see in mirrors that are reflecting one another?
Nice.
And I could hardly see my body for all the light that was coming out of my body in this infinite thing. It's that right away, that was quite beautiful and wonderful to think, oh, these are my infinite selves, and they're all streaming out light. And I won't go into the next rooms and give somebody else a chance to talk, but it was all quite extraordinary and beautiful. I thank you very much.
Beautiful, Wendy. Love that image of seeing your infinite selves.
Right.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much.
Wendy, you're infinite to us. Literally.
Connie, and then Becca.
There. Hi.
Hi.
Lower my hand. Well, hi guys. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks so much for such a great meditation, because I didn't know what to expect from the title, and it was really awesome. I and Wendy said, we had some similar experiences. I mean, I also have a place I go. So I started in my place, and then I walked a little ways to the house, which was adorable, by the way, and then into my adorable little house. And then, like Wendy, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't know what I'd see if I just see myself. I looked in the mirror and I just saw light, just this like, it was me, but it was like, I was just like emanating, just light.
Hmm.
And then the rooms were awesome. I would love to go back there to those rooms. I can, which is awesome. And my first room had, and you guys will be shocked to hear this. My first room, first I opened the door and there was nothing. And I thought, well, that's interesting. It's just pure white, nothing. And then out in the middle of the space, all of a sudden grew this big tree. And there was just this huge tree. And this tree just felt like it was embracing me. It was just the coolest thing. And it was like everything, all the energy, everything, I knew it was all just part of the same thing. The tree, me, space, energy. And the second room was full of nature and animals and water, and I blew a dandelion, which I didn't expect. I don't know why that happened. I picked up a dandelion, I blew it, and as I blew it, the little thingies on it became like little prisms and went like just like rainbow like prisms off into the air. It was the coolest thing. So thanks so much. That was so much fun. I really loved it.
Oh, beautiful, Connie. Love that imagery. That's awesome.
I love that. Wind is infinite light or infinite, and your prisms, Connie. It's just lovely. Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Let's see in the chat. Let me read a few and then we'll go to Becca. Arjun says, which brain waves would you expect for this meditation we just did? Yeah, so as Anna was saying in the book, theta brain waves from accessing the deep subconscious, and then alpha of relaxation and that bridge to the conscious mind. And then as you're able to remember and describe those images, beta is that conscious description of what arises from that deep subconscious theta. So theta, alpha, and beta may all be active in this meditation working together. Rebecca said, my mirrors had no reflection. The room I walked into was like a dark, long binder stair closet. I turned the light on and it expanded big with white, gold, and silver. Accuracies like, what's this? But now after the meditation, there was a big aha. Nice. So, any aha you'd like to share with us, Rebecca? It's fine if you want to keep it for yourself, but sure. Okay.
I think it's the aha is around just expanding my life, being willing to, just be bigger and take up more space, and it's okay.
Nice,
That
nice.
little closet just expanded, and then that's what came through. And the no the no mirrors, I still don't understand, but maybe it's because I'm working toward not having, like, detaching from personality and ego, and being
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
from my source, so there's no reflection of my personal self. So I
Yeah.
think that something like that.
Yeah. Nice. Love
Yeah,
that. Thank you,
thanks.
Rebecca. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. Becca, did you want to share? And then Bill? Did you have your hand up or no, Becca? Yeah. Okay. And then Bill.
So I entered into the rainforest we're going to be at next week.
Yeah. Costa Rica, right?
Yeah. And there were that was fun. And then the mirror thing was, I have mirrors all around me at work. And so I have a spot that I have to correct and make sure. So I looked, and today my hair was great. So I'm seeing that I'm all okay. And then I go into, and it's like a model. I'm looking at a model of rooms, and I can see all of them connected. And one is round, one is square. It's cubicles, and then I end up relating with people being in the tunnels in Gaza. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then just to be with them.
Yeah.
And so how I relate with that is that I had trouble sleeping last night. Not for none, I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm still balancing some things. And so I started to meditate. I'll wake up, and sometimes I'll have a real, I'll be real nervous that I'm up at 11:30 and I got the rest of the night to go. And so I did meditate last night, and it worked. And so just being in that tunnel with the people was where I was at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that empathy and that.
Well, you said to connect to our morphogenic things. So whenever I meditate, I try to go there.
Nice. Thank you, Becca. Beautiful. Thank you.
For me, I had a similar experience to a couple other people when I went into the third room. I didn't really see my face, but I just saw energy, different colors of energy. It kept on kind of going from one to another. And then I went into the other rooms. So really what was more profound was towards the end when we sat down and kind of and meditated towards the end of the meditation. What came to me was this awareness of how we think, or how we think of our personalities as kind of being constant, but being aware of this kind of formless awareness that is constantly changing through us all the time.
Yes.
We don't really have a static personality.
Yes.
And so it was kind of that, connecting to that piece. I felt good.
Nice. Nice. Great insight. Thank you. Thank you, Byron. Bill?
Yeah, thanks. That was a good session. Thank you very much. And Kevin, I was quite interested in your theta brainwave and alpha theta, because I've been doing a lot of Reiki work in this past 5-6 months kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I can tell when I'm doing this hour-long session, I can tell I have a sense feeling of a flow kind of thing when I'm doing this work remotely. And there are times when I know without looking at my graph after I'm done as to whether it will be one of the better ones and one of the ones that I felt was likely going to be one of my best energy felt sessions. But where does the what do you do with the delta? Where's the delta if you're working with healing?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen in people's graphs and also read that people who are very empathic and also healers, that delta will raise during their sessions.
Like I have alpha way up high.
Yes.
And then the ones that are really good, I'll have theta and delta running together like that through the graph.
Yeah, and alpha, theta, delta tend to run together.
Okay.
When you're in that state, that really deep state that you're talking about, alpha, theta, and delta will tend to ride along with each other.
Yeah. The alpha is clear of the other two. The other two though stay in a band.
Yeah. You might notice the shape though. Notice if they're rising and falling together.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. Thanks. And the picture, the building I went into, it wasn't until I got in and I looked at a door, and guess what? It's the same door, the same setting as I had 45 to 50 years ago. I said, and I went in the backyard, and here's the tall trees in the back and a raised garden bed with a creek on the side, and the flowers I walked around, they're still the same, absolutely stunning for color and beauty of the flowers, some all kinds of life. And then we went back into the house, and I could see something else out, a cottage. So I went out to the cottage, and there was the same thing from 45 years ago.
Wow.
I swept there was dust in the cottage, so I swept it out the door, and I couldn't achieve it. It was still dusty. Then I realized the window was open. And that's when blowing back in. I thought, oh man, that whatever that is, it was still ready to haunt me.
Oh, that's amazing, Bill.
45 years ago, 50 years ago, and it'll still come back and haunt you,
Mm.
whatever the tracks were. So great. That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Bill. Love that. Liz says, thanks so much, guys. I love the connection. She also had no reflection in the mirrors, and she's Delta dominant. Yeah, in those states. So yeah, that makes sense. Liz is very deeply empathic and also a wizard at telekinesis, if you have ever seen her videos. So, all right. Well, I want to thank everyone, as always, for joining with us on these Thursday night or Friday morning sessions, depending on where you are in the world. And we'll continue with Awakening the Mind again next week, continuing in Chapter 3. Lots of great practices in Chapter 3. And thank you to Russell for handling the controls here. Thanks again to Humanities team for hosting us. Have a wonderful week. Love and blessings to all. And take care. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.